Internet, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today I'm going to showcase one of my all-time favorite decks. I played this deck a lot back in the core set days, but for those of you who are new to my channel and have been starting to play Runeterra ever since the official release, and or the release to mobile, when Rising Tides came out, all that good stuff, right, like a month ago, you probably have not heard of this deck yet, and it is one of my all-time favorites. Like I said, I know me saying a deck of mine is my favorite is a meme, but this is legit in my top 3 favorite creations of all time, and it features a champion that is very underrepresented, and in my opinion, the most underrated champion in general in Legends of Runeterra, and that is none other than KATARINA. And the deck is called Battering Ram because it is a deck with KATARINA and Battering Ram as our late game play. So let me explain what this deck is about. I'm going to preface this deck tech by saying that, like I said, KATARINA is very underrated, and the reason why I believe she doesn't see much play is because she's not very intuitive, she's hard to play properly, she's also not easy to build around in an effective way, and yeah, she's just misunderstood. I think, like, for me, when I see KATARINA, the first word that comes to mind is misunderstood. She's a misunderstood champion. She's actually really good. And for those of you who, don't know, she got buffed rather recently. Before Rising Tides came out, there was a big balance patch, and she got an extra ability applied onto her because originally KATARINA did not have this play effect. But now, KATARINA is a 3-mana 3/2 with quick attack that has a play effect that says create a fleeting Blade's Edge in hand. Fleeting Blade's Edge being this 1-mana deal 1 to anything fast speed spell. And then she has the level up requirement of just striking. I've struck once. When I level up, recall me. So why is KATARINA underrepresented? Why is she the underdog? Why do people think she's bad? The reason is because she nets you with a loss of tempo as you commit to her as a 3-mana play, right? A lot of times you don't want to be playing KATARINA on turn 3. Instead, you want to be focusing more on developing an actual board state to be able to capitalize on her incoming recall effects, because that is what she does. Once you level up KATARINA by striking, she will have a play effect of rallying. So every time you play KATARINA, you will rally, and every time she strikes, she will recall to your hand, so you'll be able to constantly rally again and again and again. And this is a very powerful effect. This effect is as strong as it seems. If you manage to level up KATARINA, she is a force to be reckoned with, especially in the right deck with quick attack abusers. You have the ability to just overwhelm all sorts of different matchups, like force your opponent to some very bad trades if you're facing into a mid-range matchup, or just really outpace a control deck that's trying to build up their defenses and they just can't stop like 3 consecutive attacks in the later portions of the match, right? So KATARINA is the shit, man, in the right environment. The problem is getting that board state developed and knowing when to commit to her, and also designing a deck that can be really consistent and effective at protecting her from single target damage based removal, which she is quite vulnerable to due to her low health stat, right? So this is a tempo list. It's not an aggro deck. The difference between an aggro deck and a tempo deck, especially for newer players, aggro is a deck that from turn 1 tries to just deal out as much damage as possible, right? They have the 1 drop, turn 2 2 drop, turn 2 3 drop, and then they just keep coming at you. And the amount of damage that they deal is kind of like spread it out evenly throughout all different rounds and turns, right? When it comes to a tempo deck, though, most of our damage output will occur over the span of 1 specific round, and the rest of the game is chipping away at the opponent here and there, but building up this tempo burst combo, and that is how we take away games, right? We are aggressive in nature as a deck, but we're not just evenly spread out through turns. We build up and then we just go crazy on the opponent, and this deck is extremely satisfying to play because of this. But at the same time, it's important for me to note that Battering Ram in particular is one of, if not the most difficult deck to pilot out of all the decks that I've made. This is the one that I would recommend the least for beginners because it can be very frustrating, it can be really difficult, you have to think outside the box, it can be really unintuitive at times, and hopefully the gameplay that I showcased today shows like my approach at this archetype and how I pilot it and the decisions that I make and everything. It'll help you play it out yourselves, because like I said, you have to really adapt to different matchups, and a lot of times they play out really differently. You have to know when to commit to KATARINA, which is easier said than done. Sometimes it's not really super clear, but once you make the investment, you sacrifice the tempo and you level her up and you set up the right board state, you can really just overwhelm the opponent. And we have a deck that's just meant to really capitalize on this. When it comes to our early game, we have a couple of 2-drops here as a full set each. We have Crimson Disciple and Fey Blade Twirler. Fey Blade Twirler synergizes extremely well with KATARINA, as whenever KATARINA strikes and recalls, we will be boosting our Fey Blade Twirler's attack by 2 because of the recall effect. And we're also playing the likes of the, where is he? Oh, there we go. The Arachnoid Sentry and a couple of Concussive Palms to stun, so that we also are able to buff a Fey Blade Twirler and are able to enable the Ravenous Flock as a very effective and cheap source of removal. We compare this with the Spider or the Concussive Palm, or with the Blade's Edge that we generate through KATARINA. We can ping something and then finish it off with a 4 damage hit from Ravenous Flock for 1 more mana. We have 3 sets of transfusions, a couple of Twin Disciplines for protection, not only for KATARINA, but for Zed. This is just as much of a KATARINA deck, it's a Zed deck as well. Zed benefits from transfusion and Twin Disciplines significantly, and also from our combat tricks such as Elixir of Wrath and Might. We are able to really capitalize on the quick attack, and that's why Zed and KATARINA work really well together. KATARINA just really works well with quick attackers in general, because they are effects that are very powerful when you are attacking. So if you get multiple attacks going off, then you're going to have really strong benefits from these units that become rather unblockable, right? It nets you really strong value, momentum, board presence, and that's where we get the edge in our games, right? So we're also running a full set of Shadow Assassins. You can be pretty keen in certain matchups. The Elusive actually comes into place. He replaces himself upon entry, and that's very relevant. Whirling Death is also a very important card in this deck, because it is a great way to level up KATARINA in response to a removal. As we are engaging in combat, their opponent can go for a Mystic Shot. We can respond. Instead of a Transfusion or Twin Disciplines, we just go for the Whirling Death, and we strike another battling enemy, which will level up KATARINA. And if she's leveled up anyways, in both cases, she will recall herself upon striking before we actually, resolve the combat. And this also comes into play from a defensive standpoint. We can use KATARINA as a blocker, go for the Whirling Death, chump block, stop 1 attack, and also destroy another attacker as well while we level her up in the process, right? Really strong card with KATARINA, but you really have to know when to go for it. We have a 1-off of Deny, a couple of Spirit's Refuge, we have 3 Will of Ionias, and last but certainly not least, we have a couple of Battering Rams. Battering Ram is absolutely amazing with KATARINA. You have to find the right moment to go for it, but once you do, every time we attack, we have Overwhelm, and we gain +4 attack. We have 12 health, so we're not going down anytime soon. We're at Nautilus levels of thickness, and we're just going to be getting bigger and bigger every time we attack. And with KATARINA and multiple rally effects, Battering Ram can just get absolutely crazy and become a win condition of its own. And that's basically the deck list right there. It's the nice mix between offense and defense, tempo, and really neat card combos that, when put together, can just completely overwhelm the opponent. But you need to know how to sequence them right, and hopefully the gameplay will speak for itself in that regard, and you guys will get an idea of how this deck actually works and how cool it can be, man. It's one of the sickest things when you play KATARINA leveled up and you see the knife swinging and you're getting that rally effect. It's just I don't know, the 12-year-old within me gets really excited. So that's all I'm gonna say. Hope you guys enjoy the matches. Have a soul day. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. I do upload a new deck list every single day, and I'll be back at it tomorrow with more. So yeah, enjoy the games. I'll see you tomorrow. And this is the kind of matchup that I like. I'm going to drop Concussive Palm and Arachnoid Sentry. Going to keep the Shadow Assassin and Transfusion. Transfusion is the kind of card that I want to keep in this matchup, because it allows me to bypass damage-based removal, which is very key. And I'm keeping the Shadow Assassin because I have no other relevant play when it comes to units. I don't really like the Arachnoid Sentry against the Karma Ezreal, because it doesn't actually accomplish much.
fight with my spirit, not my fists.
Let me show you what I can do. Delicious.
Clear your head.
Let your instincts speak. Grasping claws. Silent as death. Is that all?
What is gained when you return malevolence?
Think you're fast? Cute.
I'm gonna make him float all that mana.
Put on me mask, secure me tail, start the day.
The Order rewards its faithful.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Let the bloodshed begin. It's just a myth. Witness the blade.
I will play my part.
Excuse you. Pay dirt.
Never play fair.
What is gained when you return malevolence?
Come here, darling.
Oh, it's on. Want to see these moves up close? Dance with me.
Look what you... The dark beckons.
Ionia speaks through me. Sa elasa tirivi. I got ways to find me mushrooms.
If he denies this, then we know that he has no more plays, and we can go full in for an attack. Like we have to go for the single present palm. He has to deny this. I would have preferred to see a deny there.
We each hold feel the world within.
Only fools hesitate. Night falls.
Peace has its cost.
Your lesson begins.
No one gets in my way.
Nice. Nice. So, in case you're wondering, oh, he gave you the win. He had a mystic shot. Yeah, he had a mystic shot that kills one of my units, but I still, thanks to the overwhelm from Battering Ram, I still get exact lethal on him. Even if he kills, even if he shoots down my KATARINA or one of my, 3/2s, we still got lethal on him. But it can be used to prevent damage early on. All right, we do have some health gain here with 2 Spirits Refuge, so we're gonna be mulliganing pretty aggressively for that. Also for like a bit of an earlier curve as well.
I have my orders.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
Just need a second. I'll do better this time.
Behind ya.
Oh, it's on.
Alright, so down to 14.
Damn it.
Pledge yourself to the shadows.
Oh, I can't wait.
Pick on someone your own speed.
We go as one. I am the shadow. Embrace the shadows. Where's my axe? Okay, ready. Punish restraint.
Want to see these moves up close? Zigged! Should've sagged.
Of course I'm ready.
Alright, you guys ready?
They follow the wrong master.
I probably should have buffed prior his defense.
It wasn't me.
I mean, deny and twin disciplines kind of accomplish the same thing, right? Like, I should have gone with this prior, I think. Because, I mean, no, if he had double removal, he had it anyways. Maybe going for the might initially. No, this is fine. Okay. All right, Bannerman. I'm only gonna wait KATARINA. I'm gonna keep everything else. Is that a chef?
Be Demacia.
Do I trade you with you?
Let me show you what I can do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trade the bird with this.
Batter him.
Preventing 3
Flying on an
damage.
empty stomach.
Is that all?
Preventing the that is pretty important. Oh man.
Pledge yourself to the shadows.
And then I draw transfusion and I regret all of my life decisions.
I've got your back.
Ah, for fuck's sake. He's got the perfect hand for this. Not gonna lie, he's got the perfect hand. That's a little bit annoying. Holy mother of curve, dude.
A symbol worth fighting.
God damn, man.
Feel the sizzle. No one goes hungry.
Do not disappoint me.
A morsel of our banner.
Fuck your banner. Broken ass banner.
They follow the wrong master. I am the shadow. Only the worthy survive.
My steel is yours.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
There's a chill in the air.
Protect and strike.
Think you're fast? Cute.
Soldiers, to me! Let the bloodshed begin.
Let's end this. Bring in the heat.
Want to see these moves up close? Zigged! Should have sagged.
To the point.
They won't suffer long.
Just have to hope his last card is not a single combat here.
We go as one.
No closer!
But if he does have a single combat, I can lure him here. Alright, I can lure him. It doesn't matter. It's 4, and I can block into that. I can stop him next time.
I'm not done!
Too damn soon.
Yes! Yes! Hashtag Soul Reforge, bitches! Can we get some hashtag Soul Reforge in the chat, please?
I am a true master.
Incoming!
You're covered!
We going in.
Envy the
back on my account.
Press on.
I think that card's pretty decent. Besides that, alright, give me a second. I'm dropping the Twin Discipline because in this matchup, I'd rather have stuff like Elixir of Wrath and potentially even Ravenous Flock, because I can combine that with Elixir of Arachno Sentry or Concussive Palm.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're facing Burn and they have no 1-drop. That's kind of strange, but
Let me show you what I can do. If they don't break, they'll burn. For the glory of Noxus.
I am the blade in the darkness.
War Mason, reporting for duty.
it's annoying.
Make the Empire proud.
They follow the wrong master. Shadows cut deep as any weapon.
Come here, darling.
First big mission. Of course I'm ready.
Clear it out! Let's get a good look at you.
Punish restraint.
Transfusion could be a bit of a problem here. But Spirit's Refuge can be played around. Next turn I want to drop the Battering Ram anyways. But if I Spirit's Refuge this, he can react with a Noxian Fervor. Okay.
I hope this works.
Oh, I can't wait.
Don't mind me.
I am a true master.
It sucks that I don't have an extra mana for this.
Look what you did.
Time to go.
Oh, this hurts.
That Decimate. GG. I couldn't. I mean, I drew my Spirit's Refuge, but his Onslaught was too much. Like, I would have... Like, if I was able to combine this with Whirling Death, it would have been a pretty different game, right?
Here's to the best lore streamer, YouTuber. I hope this doesn't offend you.
I'm a little bit offended, but I'll let it slide. Thank you, buddy. I do want to keep the Katarina this time around. I don't have any other 3-drop, and I think we do a proper setup here since we already found the 3-drop to defend. Bam, bam, bam.
I'll try anyone.
I'm gonna lead off with the Crimson Disciple. The intent is to drop.
Smell that? A bite's a cooking. A delicious challenge.
Oh, I'll trade you.
Is that all?
Oh, look, balanced.
Think you're fast? Cute.
Let the bloodshed begin.
Flavor and spice.
Blood for Noxus.
I mean, if he blocks so fast like this, maybe it's either he's not used to playing this, or he's got an answer,
This
or or he just doesn't know.
they'll never know what
I'll
killed.
take it.
Smell that? A bite's a cooking.
I'm just gonna say it. These 3 mana 4/4s are making people go lazy. These 3 mana 4/4s
Doing this my way.
are making people go lazy.
Oh, I can't wait.
Feel the sizzle.
This!
Eat up, friend.
Let's get a good look at you.
Now who's got the upper hand?
Look what you did.
Pick on someone your own speed.
Can you stomach this? Yeah,
I want to keep I want to keep my, like, right now I could play Katarina, but a single combat spoils my day, so I'm gonna play these. I'm gonna play you.
Silent as death.
I'm gonna develop a board instead. It's not the time to play Katarina. I need to have Twin Disciplines enabled. Beautiful. Okay. All right, he's gonna go for the scout attack. We're gonna block with the Crimson Disciple. We got answers. We got answers. We got one hell of a hand right now. We're limited by our mana, so we have to sequence this perfectly. All right, so I'm gonna take my time.
Comes the punchline.
All right, there's the unit. I could, if I play Katarina here, I do not have access to double. If I don't do anything fast, right? He definitely can have a. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do you.
I'll try anyone once.
I'm gonna develop a board.
I suppose.
Let's see what you can do.
I'm gonna block. I'm gonna pass.
Batter him.
Freeze!
Bam, 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 bam.
Feel the sizzle.
Eat this!
Can't fight on an empty stomach.
Come here, darling.
Here's our chance. Now who's got the upper hand? Yeah.
A delicious challenge. Eyes bigger.
From this point onwards,
I fight for the fallen. Never play.
never play fair. Let's go.
Blood for Noxus. I will end this here. Here's our chance.
By my honor, you must die.
I'm doing this my way. Banish the unworthy! Freeze!
We going in.
They cannot hide. Such unrefined style. Everything I've worked for.
Justice will be served! No going back.
By my honor, you must die.
Your honor's killing someone today.
Onwards!
Hold back the darkness!
Gotcha.
Let the bloodshed begin. To the point.
Sharp blade, sharp mind.
Get rammed. You think they will hit Karma at all? I hope. I hope. That's all I can say regarding that. Like, I hope that's what happens, but we'll have to see. I definitely want to keep Will of Ionia in this matchup. I'm gonna keep this hand. It's solid enough. The transfusion can be good to dodge single combat based removal. We have Shadow Assassin to kind of like cycle through our deck a little bit.
We each hold a world within.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
I'm concerned about Badger Bear into single combat, but I'm not sure if waiting around is better for that. I think I'm just gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this.
I love you.
Whiz out! I love you too!
Pick on someone your own speed.
The dark beckons.
Slow down, will you?
Do I just take this hit?
No going back.
I am shocked, appalled, confused.
They're afraid. They should be.
How you doing?
The order rewards its faithful.
I'll try anyone once.
They cannot hide. You cannot escape. Shadow.
Never play big. It's just a nick.
What is gained when you return malevolence?
Only fools hesitate. Yeah! No one gets in my way! No going back.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
There's no point in me attacking with Zed unless I want to buff him. If I want to buff him prior, then playing Zed still does not put me at range to kill the Radiant Guardian. So instead, for one man I don't have to fear anything, so I'm going to play you.
Silent as death.
That's pretty neat.
Only fools hesitate.
Ah, shut up.
Here's our chance. Strike for justice! Want to see these moves up close?
Do I care? Do I care about this, like... Because there's a lot of things that can go wrong here.
Let the bloodshed begin. To the point. Hold back the darkness!
I probably shouldn't have gone for the
I fight with my spirit, not my fist.
Never will it fail.
Where there is life, there is hope.
They're afraid. They should be.
Your lesson begins.
Underestimate me. I dare you. Let the bloodshed begin.
Many past lives in a single
Desperation.
Quick as the blade.
I love a taste of the action.
Hey! Hey!